For the Record Podcast, man, we back in this thing. Mr. the Rockstar DJ.
Rockstar DJ Hugh Holler.
Rockstar DJ K Player.
Rockstar DJ. Oh, that's what you was talking about.
Exactly, motherfucker. Every single week.
This motherfucker. Guess who forgot his mic again?
Oh, we throwing shade?
I'm just saying. We ain't gonna throw shade, but we gonna talk about K Player. Keep grabbing the motherfucking mic.
I finally realized.
I don't want I don't want to share with K Player because he likes to manhandle his mics and shit. Hey, be gentle with my shit, boy.
Pause, dog.
We don't pause. We grown ass men around. But I like to grab the mic when I'm talking to it. I don't know.
Oh shit! Pause, motherfucker.
That was not even supposed to be in reference to me saying I don't pause. I'm just saying. I literally.
You can't reference the pause and say some shit like that. Come on,
that does
man.
kind of defeat the purpose
Anyway,
of the pause.
this is an episode about absolutely nothing, part 2.
Hey, K Player was definitely on some Diddy shit just now. Like, I don't know how to play the pause.
He trying to party, man.
I said pause, and then I'm gonna grab this motherfucker hard as shit and talking to him as loud as I want.
Pause again.
Talking to the mic, player. Talking
Pause
to the mic.
Oh shit!
Wow.
Whatever.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's a bad start.
Back like we never left.
Yeah, you know. So we just we on our bullshit. So we gonna talk about industry shit, and we gonna try to keep it short because I gotta go to work. And if you watching this, bosses, I'm sorry, boss. I was
sorry, boss.
I was gonna be late today.
Oz is gonna be late today, master.
Oh my God.
We don't approve of that goddamn slave talk around here, all right? We do not.
Wow.
Oh shit.
Oh man. Okay.
Y'all loud ass laughing. I'm gonna have to hear this from my old lady when y'all leave. Hey, well.
I don't even know how she look forward to Sundays with us coming over here. She gotta hate it.
She does not.
She gotta hate it.
She does not. All right. She don't even call y'all like it's the crew coming. You and your little friends gonna be doing that.
Your little friends.
I take it we worn out our welcome.
Hey, shout out my girl Kim Player,
That's
man.
right,
She
Kim
ain't somebody
Player.
call her that shit, but you know, hey, that's your name.
That's your
'cause
name.
I gave it to
son.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, you know what's gonna happen is I already told y'all we need to buy that little piece so we can record at other niggas' houses, and we would have had this issue.
Like who's? Oh yeah, Missy just got a new spot though. By the way,
No, nigga,
man.
I'm trying to go to your house.
I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting to
I
pull up
was
to
gonna
that
see if
joint.
y'all wanted to try to go to the suite.
This week.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be so many distractions, and we're not gonna talk about that.
All
But yeah, so we could just record wherever we wanted to record at. So you know, I'm gonna put this on record on camera.
Man, it's so fucking awkward.
Hold on,
you
shut
holding
up.
a mic like that.
I gotta do my K Player. Hold on, I gotta grab the bottom too. I gotta do like this, and I'm gonna get my K Play on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta manhandle everything about this mic right now.
This is terrible.
But look,
I'm glad I own my own
Hold on.
mic.
I own my, hey, look,
Yeah.
this is the
Yeah,
money's
alright,
issue,
yeah.
not ours. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not going, I'm going to stop throwing him under the bus. Look, I wasn't trying to shade
Money
you,
got his own mic this week though.
but it's not his. So, why you want to throw shade? We're going to throw shade all the way
Why
around.
you always hating? Hey, why
This
you
is
always
a
hating?
mudslinging episode.
Well, look, like I was trying to say, I'm trying to get y'all niggas on record. If everybody come up with $88, then we are able to record wherever the fuck we want to. So stop
You know
bullshitting.
what? If you guys want to donate to the Rockstar DJs,
Hey, we gotta get a GoFundMe.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Rockstar
we need a-
DJs
we need a
GoFundMe.
GoFundMe.
Look at the link under the bio.
what is it?
It's gonna be right
What
here,
is it?
right there.
A super YouTube page where they can like donate? Like,
Oh hell yeah!
So look, we need $350 to get this.
That's our goal.
I'll spend some records if y'all need to.
I'm grabbing who holla mic now.
No,
Oh man, handle everybody mic.
Stop manhandling my mic, B.
I don't even know what we're gonna talk about this week.
I don't know. This is all bad.
We just gonna laugh through the whole episode.
Every day we live, yeah. You can't tell me shit, yeah.
I wonder, because obviously, like, we back on, so for the second week in a row, we back on tequila because we had some left over. But I wonder how many people that are 100, shout out to Hugh Holla and this computer.
Mute, son.
That's not on mute. I wonder how many people that
laptop.
be listening to us 100% sober, which is probably 99% of the people. I don't know what's going on, man. I don't. I'm sorry. Listen,
It's not a good.
it has to be so annoying.
To watch four drunk niggas do they thing while you sober as shit.
Hey, first of all, I ain't drunk. All right. I know how to contain myself.
I have
But yes, if you are completely sober and you are listening to this podcast, just understand that we are Rockstar DJs and we are living our best Rockstar life at the moment.
AKA, hey, where my keyboard at? What the fuck?
That's not
Sober my ass.
That's not because I
Actually,
was
K
drunk.
Player does that all the time.
Exactly. Thank
Like,
you. It's not because I'm
super
drunk. It's just because
absent-minded.
I'm just.
Play and do all the time. He drink all the goddamn time.
Hey, don't we put my personal business out on the streets? All
We
right?
leave a whole bottle here. And
What he say?
hey, I'm just gonna have a little drink out the bottle.
Say Junior, he drink too goddamn much or something.
Anyway.
Oh shit, my stomach hurt, man.
Y'all want to talk about something?
Anyway, so shout out to y'all. If y'all sober, just understand that we do pregame when we do these things. So if we laughing way too much,
And post game.
we just having a good time. Yeah, and post game. We just having a good time.
Game.
All right, so let's get into some topics, man. So we gonna get into some industry type stuff because we don't have nothing else to talk about at this point.
Understand we need that $350 too.
Absolutely. So if y'all can help us out, so we can stop recording at K Player House and we can make Kim Player happy. That would be beautiful. But if not, y'all niggas quit playing and come up with $88 a piece and we be straight. You know what I mean? But anyway, so I want to get into some, it's kind of like along the same lines of what we talked about before as far as like DJs in this industry, as far as knowing your artistry and knowing your equipment. And so that's kind of where I'm going towards it. I feel like I'm not really attacking nobody, but it's kind of like a more of a like just shining light on like new and upcoming DJs or getting opinions of established DJs already. Like, I feel like it's if you're up and coming DJ or you're an established DJ, more so attack the up and coming DJs. I think you should know that some kind of what would you call it, K Player? Like audio knowledge, like
Yeah, definitely.
so audio knowledge. So as far as like, obviously you want to know how equipment works. So that's whether you have a controller, and I have to say that just because that's what this day and age is. But if you do not know how to work turntables, I feel sorry for you. Like, they're not that complicated, but like usually something that goes wrong with
Them
turntables
shits are heavy as hell, though.
They are heavy as hell. But if something goes wrong with a turntable, it's usually like no more than one or two things. That's like whatever the issue is, it's like one or the other that's wrong, and you should know what that is to fix that. You know what I'm saying? Like a controller, you may have multiple things because different things do multiple things, and it can be this button, that button, this button, that button. A turntable
that's
is like
the shit I'm talking about, man. We talking about buttons. When it comes to controllers, we talking about buttons. It's no buttons on a goddamn turntable. The only buttons there is the 33 or 45. Start and stop. What do you want?
I was about to say you forgot to start and stop, nigga. Like,
Well, I mean,
on and off.
That's big button, little button. Like, I mean, is it a big button that's wrong or the little button that's wrong? And what irks the shit out of me is the fact that, all right, you do have controllers, and yeah, the shit's full of buttons, blah blah blah. I mean, and that's cool. That's all features. That's all features. At the end of the day, you need some turntables, some shit that you could just put a regular record on, hit the play button, and that's just gonna play the fucking record. I mean, controllers is completely different. I mean, those work completely off of MP3s or whatever type of format that you're playing off of. But my issue is the fact that a lot of DJs don't even know how to work turntables.
Absolutely.
This is facts.
Hold on, I got to pause on that for a second. Think about it. A lot of DJs don't know how to work turntables, like point blank, period. We talking about needles, slit mats, records, turn arms, pitch controls, like RCAs, how to like actually get your shit to connect.
Ground wire.
Yeah, all of that. And quick story. So there's a DJ in Vegas. I'm gonna allow to remain nameless. See, I mean, when it comes to the technicalities,
You drunk?
Yeah. I'm sitting over here like he is in rare form.
Y'all didn't know that 30 seconds into his talking.
my brother, you gotta listen to me, okay?
Holla is in rare form right now.
What is higher? What is learning?
All right, whatever. All right, we gonna play
What
cool
is
then.
higher learning?
Cool. So, but I
That's
mean,
my favorite movie, by the way.
No, wait, nah, D Money, I'm not done with my point. I'm gonna let you finish. All right?
Go Hugh West, go.
But I'm allowed a DJ to remain nameless. I've been drinking again. Hold on. Listen. I'm allowed this DJ to remain nameless, but I've had DJs. All right, I actually work on turntables. I know how to I know how to fix them shits.
Oh shit.
Bruh.
Listen.
I'm about to cape on your ass. Like, get to the point.
Sexual chocolate. Sexual chocolate.
This nigga done remained nameless for like 10 minutes now. Like, let's go.
He's still nameless though. All right, come on. So I've had this DJ coming to me and say, like ask me, look, listen. Yo, you watching the video right now?
Same
my
DJ.
Man,
Who shall remain nameless?
He's gonna remain. He's
shall
gonna
remain
name Alaminous.
A
He's gonna say Alaminous, right?
No, he gonna be a nameless.
A nameless. Yeah, see, this, I don't fuck with y'all, man. You know.
Basically, what he trying
But
to say.
people start asking like basic
Okay,
questions. They
never
start
mind.
saying shit like, you know, like what,
I'm gonna shut up. Now.
like what's the difference between a needle and a fucking toner arm?
It's all one piece. Absolutely not.
You know, I mean, just all kinds of ridiculous questions that, you know, as like a seasoned DJ, you already kind of automatically know the answers to these questions, and you don't realize the amount of people who consider themselves as DJs that don't know this kind of basic shit. No, I mean, but like, listen. Fuck it. I mean, this like a lot of times it's just basic shit that you think that everybody else also understands just because you've been here before and you've been doing this shit for such a long time that you don't realize that how much the game has changed. That people don't really feel like it's really necessary to really understand just regular basic knowledge when it comes to DJing, when it comes to turntables, when it comes to the mechanics of it all, you know, because a lot of DJs nowadays is raised on the controller phase. When you're raised with just using controllers, that's all you know, and you don't feel like going back to the basics, which is using records and understanding how turntables work. You don't feel like that's no longer relevant. So you might end up going to an establishment that uses. What the fuck is wrong with y'all, man? Like, goddamn, get it together.
No, nigga, you drag it on, bro. You like repeating yourself over and over again.
I'm not repeating my fucking self. Like, I'm trying to talk to y'all. Goddamn. What the y'all gotta grow the fuck up.
Oh, for real.
Hey, Hugh, I love you, but we got your point like 10 minutes ago, but we got it.
No, we didn't. What did he say?
I'm not speaking for y'all. Y'all obviously fucking DJs, and y'all do this shit. Like, y'all been using turntables. I know y'all. I know that y'all been through this shit, and y'all understand how turntables work, and y'all know the mechanics behind this shit.
Tears.
I mean, fucking K-Play is literally in tears right now.
No, really.
He's crying, like, I mean, because he's so emotional and passionate about what I'm saying. I mean, so that's why I fuck with KP, because he's as passionate as I am about this shit, you know. And so obviously y'all are DJs and y'all not relevant. I'm not talking about y'all with the subject that I'm bringing up right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm speaking for the people who listen to this podcast and are not DJs and they don't understand how fucking turntables work. Now, I mean, and not only those people, but also DJs who don't understand how turntables work.
Can I chime in?
Chime in, please.
I think
Fuck this nigga.
Yes.
I think the issue is when it comes to DJing in this current age and just becoming a DJ in today's climate, a lot of the responsibility is placed on the computer, right? So the computer pretty much does everything. It holds the music. It organizes your music. It runs the program that allows you to play the music, and you pretty much have to know the basics on how to work whatever controller you have. Assuming you, like, say you're a bedroom DJ, right? You buy
shit. Hold on. No, I'm saying even to that fact, like some controllers that you have, the damn computer even powers the fucking controller. Like, you ain't got to plug that motherfucker in. Once you plug it to the laptop, it got power.
True. This is true. So I think the issue with that is people neglect the responsibility of trying to understand how whatever it is they are controlling works, right? Like they don't like, for example, you hop in a car, you drive from A to B, you have no idea how the car works. All you know is that the car's going to take you from A to B.
Yeah.
That's kind of how people approach DJing these days, it seems like, because plug it and play. Yeah, you got two things that are pretty much doing everything for you. You got your computer that's running the program, hosting music, and then you got the controller that's allowing you to manipulate the music. The problem is when something goes wrong, people have no idea how to approach the issue, and they have no idea where to begin on, I guess, figuring out what the issue is. You know what I'm saying? So, like, with us, we had so many moving parts that it kind of forced us to be able to troubleshoot because we ran into real life issues, whether we were out or even if we were just in the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we got turntables in the mixer, we got needles that could be dirty, we got a tone arm that could be stiff and the height ain't adjusted right, we got the pitch control that could be off from the turntable, the crossfader is bleeding. It's so much stuff that could go wrong. And
an example that I use with that is like, it's like learning how to do the math before the calculator, because if you know exactly what's supposed to happen, you understand how much easier it is once you have a tool in place. And a lot of people just use the tool but don't understand why it makes things better for you as a DJ.
And obviously, well, not even obviously, but that's just like the tip of the iceberg, because what I was originally getting into is like most real DJs is damn near audio engineers, because y'all talking about turntables and that type of issues with the tone arm, with the needle, with the record, with, what I'm saying, like plugging in, the mixer, all those components, but we're not talking about when sound may go in and out. The left speaker is working and the right speaker is. The subwoofer goes out. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are things that, depending on what venue you at or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you at a smaller venue, nigga, there ain't no goddamn audio engineer there. They got the equipment there, and they plug and play and hope that, nothing goes wrong. So, exactly. So, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Like, if you love this craft, like, I'm not saying that you have to know how every little thing works, but it's probably in your best interest to like have some type of genuine knowledge of, how to at least set equipment up. And that's where we're talking about with the newer DJs coming up. And, obviously the veteran and established DJs can speak to this point. Like, we've came from the era of nigga not on top, outside of bringing the turntables and the mixer and the records. Like, we was also bringing the speakers, the subwoofers, all of that type of stuff. And, we're running wires, we're splitting speakers. We're doing all these things as well. So when you do get in those situations, like I said, not all clubs are big clubs, but they're still clubs at the same time, but they're not going to have that budget for an audio engineer. Mm-hmm. So all the club looks at, like, yeah, I have speakers, I have subwoofers. And even it may work, but you may get into that 2-year run with a club been going for 2 years and they've never had anybody check this equipment. There's been 80 DJs that have played on this thing, and something gives out or something shorts or a wire goes bad and you don't know.
That. I mean, you would be surprised to find how many like jury rigged spots there are.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like the quote unquote professional who installed the sound system was like somebody uncle who kind of knew how to hook up, run speaker wire and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of patchwork jobs out there. But for the most part, you shouldn't even really call yourself a DJ if you don't pretty much know how the basic components, like hooking up your equipment and understanding how your equipment works. It's like an essential element of being a DJ, and one of the things you should know before you even really shop yourself out here as being a quote-unquote professional DJ. You know what I'm saying? Just like any other profession, like KP was saying with the car. Like if you got a job, if you work on construction and you work a bulldozer, you know what I'm saying? Why would you go out there and try to get a bulldozer job and you don't even know how to turn the thing on, you know? So it's just like
KP, you deep, son.
But at the same time, like I really don't understand. Well, I get it. A lot of, you know, the celebrity of being a DJ, you know what I'm saying, being in the forefront, being in the limelight, being on the stage can be real infectious, and a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, want that status. But at the same time, it's so much more to the craft than just being up there on the stage and looking cool. You know, once the lights is on, the crowd staring at you, you know what I'm saying, you gotta perform. So it's either got it,
skill, bro.
You know what I'm saying? You either
my
got it.
My point is like you gotta at least, at the very minimum, know your equipment.
Yeah.
Know your equipment. Know how that shit work. Know what role that plays in the overall production of you as a DJ.
Yeah.
You know, so if something happens and you don't understand how your equipment works, you just might be screwed because, you know, it's not doing what you expect it to do.
You're definitely ruining your gig, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but if you understand how your stuff works, if some shit happens, then you can kind of at least get to the bottom of it.
Absolutely.
Because you know what's going on and why it might be happening.
And my thing is, if you really consider yourself a professional, you'll already know that before you even start putting yourself out there like that, you know what I'm saying? Because I would say no professional would want to be caught out there not even knowing how to hook up their own equipment. Like, people gonna be looking at you like you're crazy.
Yeah. If when it comes to hooking up the equipment, if you can't even hook it up, then you shouldn't even be there. Period. But things happen.
Even how I operate, you know what I'm saying?
Things happen in the middle of you actually performing. Like things can. We was talking earlier about like records playing in reverse.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
For example, you know, which we all feel is like a useless aspect of Serato DJ or Scratch Live, like
Absolutely.
where everything starts playing backwards. Which stuff like that has happened to all of us.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
has happened.
And it's gonna happen.
I remember one thing that happens to me that I still think about to this day, and it was like almost like 8-9 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
I tried to use one of the effects on my mixer, and it was the echo.
Yeah.
And the shit just kept on echoing.
Was it your mic?
When is this shit gonna stop echoing? Right?
The forever echo?
Yeah, the forever echo. And then you put it back on that channel and it's still echoing. Like, yo, what is up with this echo? You know, so you're like forced to like just DJ for the rest of the night or on one channel, you know? And then as you start to learn your equipment, you realize like, okay, well my depth is like up too high. I gotta turn that shit down. Otherwise, the shit's gonna keep on.
That's
fucking.
that echo hold.
Yeah,
Right
yeah. And if you don't know your equipment, you're not gonna know that. You're gonna miss that, and you're just gonna run into problems constantly. You know, and now that's talking about more of like the newer technology when it comes to effects and things that you can do with the new mixers or controllers. But when you're talking about just the basics, let's say you just have 2 channels, a crossfader, and 2 turntables that's playing vinyls off of them.
Yeah.
If you can't understand how that works, I mean that's the core. That's the core of all of this.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
that's the basics.
I'm gonna piggyback off of that, like, because I got a story. It doesn't include me. It actually includes D Money. I feel like
wait, hold on. So,
hey, just roll with it.
it was me, K Player, and D Money there, but D Money is the person who actually not really experienced it, but me and KP were kind of like the spectators, and D Money got on and did his thing. And from a DJ standpoint, it's like y'all niggas up there confused, and it's really not that like. And that's what I'm about to get into. Like, as a DJ, you should always know the basics of like. Yes, the equipment changes. You know what I'm saying? The times,
but
you get the laptop, but
everything works.
It's the same. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm getting at is like, so D Money did this event with a bunch of DJs. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's getting on and doing their thing, but there so happened to be a new mixer up there. You know what I'm saying? And every DJ that got on was like super thrown off and confused. Granted, don't get me wrong, that's like one of the DJ, especially if you work at a radio station or anything like that. Like, obviously, you want to have pre-warning to, especially if it's a newer mixer. Like, man, like if you're gonna get a new mixer, let me know so I can do my research on that. I can get a handle on it, be comfortable. But at the end of the day, nigga, all mixers do the same fucking thing. Most of the time, there's 2 to 4 channels. You know, it's right, left fucking side. There's fucking bass, treble, mid. You know what I'm saying? It's the same fucking buttons at the basics. To where you can get through your set if you've ever been a real DJ in your fucking life, to where, nigga, you ain't gotta have an effect button or an echo button to hold the shit to fade out of a fucking song. You could drop the goddamn bass.
You need the basics, you know for the most part, but you don't need all the extra effects.
Exactly, effects. You know what I'm saying? Because even if you don't know a mixer, like, okay, I may not be comfortable with this mixer, but I know the basics of, nigga, you know what I'm saying? This is bass, this is treble, this is highs, mids, you know what I'm saying? All of that, you know what I'm saying? Left, right side, fucking crossfader, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can at least sound decent as a DJ. Yeah. And we did an event, and like most of the DJs was totally terrible because of this new mixer threw them off. Like, bro, this does not make you a brand new fucking DJ because it's a new mixer up here. You know what I'm saying? And D-Money got up there and wrecked shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Granted, we knew the mixer, but even still, like I said, you shouldn't sound that terrible because the mixer is new. That makes no sense at all. Like, just revert back to your normal DJ ways. And without all the fucking cheat codes. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, cool. Basics, back to the basics. Like, fuck the cheat codes. Fuck the echo out and all this shit. Like, get back, drop the bass out, nigga, and mix in, blend in your goddamn record. And you can scratch out. You can do whatever you need to do. Get out the fucking record. Like, you don't need to echo out. You don't need to filter out. You don't need to, you know what I'm saying? You don't need to do that.
Make your own echo. Like, you want to echo out, make your own echo.
But even that, like, that's kind of like my recommendation. Like, I would recommend that you be able to be as clean and as technical as possible without using enhancements that come with the mixers or the controller boards. You know what I'm saying?
And that's exactly what it should be. Sorry to interrupt, but like that's exactly what it should be. Just enhancements. You know, the fact of the matter is when you go down to the basics is that you already know how to do this stuff, but it just makes what you are capable of doing
like you were saying
that
earlier.
Much better. That much better.
No, definitely. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of cats do use the technology as more of a crutch, you know what I'm saying? Which I get it, but at the same time, it's just like people really, really appreciate the original art form of DJing. That's what they love the most about it. You know what I'm saying? See a cat up there working both sides, you know, bringing the music in, matching the pitches, and you know what I'm saying, making sure the records are matching the BPMs, make sure the records are on, and blending, you know what I'm saying, and working and being creative, you know. But at the same time, like the steps to it, you get to the creativity part last. You know what I'm saying? Like you always stay with the technical stuff first. So, yeah.
I think the technical stuff comes first, honestly, because you have to be able to blend 2 records together, and that's the technical stuff.
That is the most important thing
that's
you're doing. That is the root of DJing. The number one.
You don't
thing,
have to do all the trickery, you know, or the flares and everything in order to make the shit like sound and look good.
At how many great DJs have done great parties with just playing the music, mixing the records together. You know what I'm saying?
Mix the records. If you could just do that part, like that's cool. And I think nowadays with all the new technology that's out, it allows you to do the technical stuff on the fly, just like super quick. Definitely. A lot of this stuff is automated, matter of fact, where you don't even have to worry about that aspect of it. It's gonna now be about what can you do with this record to make the shit sound special and like make it your own. You know, which I credit all the new technology available now to giving you that capability, right?
Yeah.
But if you can't do just the basics, like you gonna lose every time.
Yeah, I mean, and what the basics boil down to for me is, like I said, because I'm more so on the newer side of DJing. Like I'm going into my 8th year DJing, which is still fairly new especially compared to the other 3 people up here. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, I got way more experience than me.
I really think I lost count, bro.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying I know that for sure that I'm fairly new compared to y'all 3. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all right, cool. But my whole thing is if you do the homework and you do, like I said, you do your research, and like, I mean, it's just like literally like going to school. You want to get your master's in a certain, you know what I'm saying, in a certain area and you become a, you know what I'm saying, what is it, PhD and whatever, you know what I'm saying, it's literally like the same thing with DJing, like, because it not only that, and I don't say that to be like you got to work hard at it to do this, and this and go far, like, no, not at all. Obviously, it's a bunch of new DJs, but you get yourself in a bind and a pickle when you don't know something or whatever, and then also you find yourself in a situation to where if you do know those basics, and I mean, I think like everything, especially if you're passionate about it, everything is a learning process. So I say that to say, like, basically, so let me give y'all some examples, like just knowing how music breakdowns, I mean, as far as like even intros, outros, you got 4, 8, 16 bars. And if you know those type of things, like it can get you out of a jam, and it's stuff that you should know. Like this is just common knowledge that you should know, common stuff that you should know, basics that you should know that help you when you're DJing. I mean, to the average DJ, they feel like, oh, whatever, they just get through. But when you have a real DJ that does it, like, people can hear the difference in it. So I could be drunk off my ass and the song's about to end, and I can literally look at it or know the song enough to know, like, all right, man, I got 4 bars to get my shit together. In my head, I already got a 4-bar. I know I got a song that's in my Serato that has a 4-bar intro that I can jump to real fast to get me through the shit before I sound like complete trash.
Not even that. Like, just, you notice when you working, anything else you doing, you still always paying attention to making sure that you got ready to get the next record in and be on point.
Exactly. And then, like I said, I mean, but it's just like, to me, like, you know, we talk about cheat codes with, it's funny because, like, if you learn the logistics and the basics of DJing, like, those are your cheat codes, because it comes down to certain shit, like I said, especially in the club atmosphere. Like 9 times out of 10, like, I don't know many DJs that don't drink at all. Most DJs are drinking. Most DJs have distractions. You got people that want to request songs. You got people that want to talk to you. We're not talking about girls in the booth. We're not talking about owners and promoters coming up and talk to you. So you're always constantly doing a million things. If you don't know basics, I'm not going to say you're gonna fail, but it makes your job a lot easier, because you could be doing something and get easily distracted. And, like, before I even, number one, I probably already know the song that I'm playing. Like, that's my job to know music. But if I don't, I could damn near look at my screen and be like, damn, this, like, I'm halfway through the song. I'm listening to the song right now. Even if I don't know it, it sounds like it's about to go into the chorus. I'm going to assume it has a 16-bar chorus, and I need to get a song ready to go into that. Like, that's just immediately jumped into my head. Like, before I could not know the song, and that's where immediately where my head is gonna go. So to me, that's like that's basics, but that's like a cheat code to me, because I already know that.
But listen, like those visual cues that you get, those are part of the cheat codes, because without those things, without having a laptop connected to the music that you're playing, you don't have those things in place for you.
But I'm saying, like, but that's even going to, like I said, knowing the music. If you know the music, most music is made in the same way. So even if, like I said, even if I don't have a visual or whatever, I'm hearing it. All right, it sounds like to me, because I even hear like music, like a brand new song could come out right now, and 9 times out of 10, I can hear when it's about to go into a chorus, just because I know music. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I can hear, like, damn, it sounds like they're about to go into the chorus. Yeah. If they're about to go into the chorus, there's gonna be most likely a 16-bar chorus. So I have 16,
especially if you know the song too. So
exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that even goes out without being visual, like, but that's just coming from common knowledge of knowing what the fuck I'm doing. Right. You know what I'm saying? And to me, I feel like that's a cheat code, because if I'm in a fucked up situation to where someone's talking to me, or I'm take it. I gotta fucking piss. I gotta run to the bathroom real quick. I gotta come back. I know how much time I got. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that's
you're listening to it while you're taking a piss.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
You, no matter what you're doing, you always connected to make sure.
Hey,
it's about to go to one more verse. Now, I mean, I'm gonna be right there on time.
That's facts. Because I mean, where I'm at, I DJ 6 hours at a time, and I'm the only DJ there. The whole time I'm there, I like, at this particular
you gotta take a lunch break in the middle of verses, huh?
Yeah, it's all bad. Like, but at this time, like, I'm drinking my ass off. Like, I can't drink alcohol at this spot.
Yeah.
But nah.
Oh, that's some hater shit.
I mean, I stay drinking hella water. I'm drinking something the whole time I'm there. So I gotta take several pisses. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be tapped in with your music. So you gotta know. I know for me, I mean, this is useless information for people, but I would throw on like a song that's popular that I know people won't mind listening to the whole shit, and then I will drop that song and then load up another song just in case.
Yeah,
I'm cutting it real close, and there's been times that I make it back to the booth in just enough time to hit play and scratch that thing in with a split second.
Yeah.
But because I had the foresight, like, all right, I'm going to have to go do this. I'm going to have to go do this. Let me make sure everything is good. So by the time I get back, I ain't got to think about nothing. Hit play, scratch it in. Like, I got my tempo matched up and everything. Like, I'm good to go.
Before you even go.
I've been late. I missed it.
I've been late one time. One time ever I've been late.
No music.
Yeah, and I walked out.
You gotta consider the fact.
song.
You gotta consider the fact from the DJ's point of view. That like 5 seconds sounds like forever.
It does.
Hey,
Hey, shout out!
long
Hey,
time.
hey, shout out to my dancers. Y'all are the most distracting people, and I'm not even talking about physically on the pole. I'm talking about y'all niggas done tapped me on the shoulder, and I done had a whole conversation, and the song been off for 10 seconds, and I'm still talking to you like.
That's
whoa!
Hold on. That's Mizzy's drunk ass.
No, D-Money been there too. D-Money been there.
The song been off for 10 seconds.
Not even that, man.
Absolutely.
Okay, so saying just to tie it all back in, I mean, obviously this tidbit of information we've been going on about is geared towards the DJ community. But if you are an aspiring DJ or if you are new to DJing or, I mean, whatever you want to call it, just make sure you know your equipment. I personally would recommend you start off by doing mobile gigs and stuff like that because that's going to give you the best opportunity to learn equipment, but it's going to give you also the best opportunity to troubleshoot stuff when stuff happens without the most setbacks. You know, like obviously if you in a club environment and you hit the wrong button on your computer and shit start going haywire, that's the last thing you need to happen while you in the club and it's 1,500 people in there that paid to get in and they spending $16 on a drink and you hit the wrong button on your laptop and now shit ain't working the way it needs to. Yeah. So
in the wrong way.
Just make sure I mean obviously if you passionate about this shit, make sure your live sound knowledge is up. Make sure the knowledge that you have on the software is up. And I mean, shit, you'll be all right, man.
All right, so we're going to jump to another topic just because, you know, we just want to be informative and just, I mean, you know, obviously we done got a lot more serious. I'm looking for some more funny moments because beginning this shit was hilarious.
Oh
But, you know, I want to talk about, you know, kind of more. And I don't even want to say it's kind of subject to Vegas. I mean, obviously, this is a big issue in Vegas, but I kind of think this is like, I wouldn't even say worldwide as far as like, do y'all feel like some of the people in power in clubs, like, let's say, the doorman, and what I mean with the doorman, I mean the person who's working the front, whether it be a promoter, whether it be a host, whether it be whoever else works at the front door. Do you feel like they have too much power as far as the look of the club and the certain aspect that they want or the certain people that they want in there, and do you feel like they abuse their power? Obviously, this is an issue in Vegas, which is why I'm bringing it up, but I feel like it's not only a Vegas issue.
It's definitely a widespread issue, but I would come because I guess trying to look from it from the other side of the coin, you know, I would say I recently...
Real quick before you finish, and is it necessary?
Is it necessary? I believe some form of discretion is necessary, but at the same time, I do think some of these cats that are kind of a little upper level in these positions, you know what I'm saying, you can kind of get out of touch with reality, you know. So you'll sit out there and you'll think of something for a certain way instead of giving people the customer service and experience of having a good time. You just like, yo, well, my spot need to look like this, and y'all not cutting it, so get out. You know what I'm saying? Or it's just like they feel like somebody trying to upstage them. That's probably the worst thing to me, when bouncers feel like customers trying to upstage them, so they just gonna overexert their power to make sure that they show them up. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Before you get into it, bouncers definitely, sometimes y'all take y'all job a little, y'all feel like y'all niggas is in a WWE. And you know what I'm saying? Your job, number one, is to keep the club safe, and then to handle the situation at the least.
Not
like,
to perform the
yeah,
MMA
like,
moves on patrons.
Yeah,
absolutely. Sometimes your job is just to get motherfuckers out and calm down. Y'all niggas be going completely ham. Y'all lose it and y'all overreact and think that y'all are in the right, and then like.
Yeah.
Even if a nigga slap you on your face, yes, you're gonna be mad, but that's your job to take that slap and get him out at the least amount of force. And no. But seriously, but that's what you signed. No, it's literally what you signed up for. Because
no, you didn't get signed up. You didn't sign up to get slapped in the face.
As a security guard, for real.
I don't think security guards sign up to get slapped in the face.
Well, I mean, they can sign up for that, but if it happens, like, you can't overreact. Like, I'm finna totally max this nigga out in the club.
I don't think their job. Like, I don't think their job is to escalate situations.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like, but I'm saying that. But as a drunk player, if I'm drunk, I obviously don't know what I'm doing. So if I feel like you doing whatever and you grabbing on me and I swing on you and I get it, I'm not saying you're not human not to be mad, but your first reaction shouldn't be to overreact. I get it. You may get mad, and I understand you holding me, whatever. But these niggas be like, I'm going straight WWE. Like, like I'm finna.
That's taking it too far.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, I feel like a lot of people, not just security guards, but I mean, we go into police officers and all this other shit.
Please, let's not go there.
Yeah. I mean, we're not going to go there on this episode. But I feel like a lot of times part of your job is to de-escalate situations and know how to handle it properly. You're trained in this aspect, and so when some shit happens, you're not supposed to make it worse.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
supposed to make it worse. You come with a certain degree of expectation. Right. Like, I was expecting this shit to happen.
Take it back to the mafia days. Like, bruh, I'm gonna do something totally disrespectful, but I'm still gonna grab you up. I'm gonna take you to the back, and then we gonna get down to the business.
Right, because the person, let's say the club goer, he's not walking, he's not getting dressed in the morning saying like, it's going down tonight. I'm gonna slap me a bouncer tonight.
Actually,
but if you flip it, the bouncer, he's like, some shit might go down tonight, and I gotta be prepared for that, and I gotta know how to handle it, and I gotta do it in a way that's not gonna affect me, not gonna hurt me, or cause me to lose my job, And so they come in with that expectation. They know everybody else is drunk, but they sober and they at work, and they gotta know how to handle the situation as it arrives, right? And so that happens, but then you also get these people who shows up to work feeling super froggish, right? Like they're waiting for some shit to go down so they could go ahead and use this as an excuse to jump on somebody.
Before you continue, what I use it as it's like domestic violence against women. You know what I'm saying? Like, women.
Man, preach, dog.
No, for real. Because I mean, and this is how I look at bouncers with club goers, because it's literally like a dude in a domestic violence situation. Like, females are gonna jump off the handle. They're gonna lose their damn mind. They're gonna swing at you, slap you, whatever. And the moment that you ball up your fist and mollywop the shit out of her, bruh, you're in trouble and she's not.
Smizzy, by the way.
I'm just saying, it is me saying it, but I'm saying it's not right. You know what I'm saying? Like, she can do whatever, but at the fact of that and usually bouncers, the average bouncer is bigger than the average dude, correct?
Give or take.
Usually, you would want a bigger, So I mean, it's the same thing with a dude and a female. Usually, the average dude is bigger than the chick that he's with, so it's immediately frowned upon. This chick can do everything in the world to. As soon as the dude balls up his fist and hits her, he's in the wrong. Yep. He's going to jail. He's fighting the case.
Okay, look. Okay,
so that's how I look at bouncers.
The issue I have with that is that the bouncers show up with the expectation of some shit happening, knowing that this is part of their job. This is some shit that is likely gonna happen. You're likely gonna have to deal with some drunk dudes. You're likely gonna have to de-escalate some situation. You likely going to have some type of confrontation in which you're going to have to figure out some way to mitigate so it doesn't become a worse situation than what it already is.
Right. I mean, I would agree with that, and I think part of the issue is, and I mean more often than not, it's probably really the case, but I think bouncers approach every situation like, this dude is drunk as fuck, so I got to do whatever I need to do to resolve this issue as soon as possible. Right, so no matter how rational the person may be that's causing the issue or whatever, the bouncer is not approaching the situation rational. They just approaching it like, I got another drunk motherfucker who's trying to act up, so let me do whatever I got to do to fucking prevent him from acting even crazier.
But you know what? At the same time, like Mizzy said, that's part of their job description. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're a business, you should be hiring bouncers who should be able to use a little bit more discretion. I'm sorry, you can't be a regular person. you're the bouncer. You know what I'm saying? So there's a certain level of expectation that you got to carry yourself and perform your work duties. You know?
Don't get a golden gun for being.
I want Hugh Holler to tell his story, because what I feel like, it's not always on the bouncer, but I feel like what I'm basically saying, there needs to be stipulations, or whatever I'm trying to say, like protocols in place. There need to be protocols in place for every situation. So say it's not a violent situation, it's not a fight or whatever, or it's just like a rowdy situation, or like in Hugh Holler's point, like somebody points somebody out and say they did this and this and this. Like, all right, cool. Let me bring you over here. You can talk to a manager or whoever you need to talk to figure out and explain the situation and move forward, versus what they do now. Any situation, like a girl could say, oh, this dude touched my ass, which was not the dude who did it, and the bouncers are immediately coming to manhandling this nigga and putting him outside. I'm like, bruh, that shit wasn't like, bruh, I'm here spending money, paying money. I didn't do shit but enjoy my goddamn time, but I'm getting kicked out because someone said some shit. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there need to be better protocols.
Like I've been in establishments, and you know what I'm saying, where I'm like doing moves to keep myself from getting put in the MMA moves. You know what I'm saying? And like, I didn't even do nothing. Yeah. Like, I'm doing like counter moves and all kind of Bruce Lee shit, trying to like, cause this dude, like the bouncer super seriously was like, yo, you gotta go, and like, he went for the kill.
I think the situation that Mizzy's were like talking about with me was one time I was in a club. There's a club out here in Vegas, well, it used to be out here in Vegas, called Trist, right? And I went to this spot, and me and my boys, we out there having a good time. We bouncing from like table to table. Floyd Mayweather's in the club that night, and anyway, long story short, I was trying to mooch over to anybody's table, so I go to the bar to go grab my own drink and grab Excuse me? Mm-hmm. Yeah, some chick said that you grabbed her ass. I look at him so casually, and I say, oh, no. Yeah, thank God. That wasn't me. Y'all got the wrong guy. But I'm going to continue to make my drink order over here at the bar, all right? As y'all go ahead and figure that out. So he
super nonchalant.
Yeah, super nonchalant, because, I'm thinking like everything is all good. Like, oh, y'all got the wrong black dude or whatever. Yeah. And so he says, so he grabs me by the arm at this point and says, he's like, all right, well, you could just come back next time. I'm like, excuse me? And then so to me at this point, he had the opportunity to de-escalate the situation, but he chose to escalate it by not only grabbing me by the arm, but not giving me any further explanation of what the situation was, what was happening. Yeah. Even after I spoke to him and said, like, that was not me. Like, this had nothing to do with me. I don't know what you're talking about, who you're talking about.
You didn't even get to have your side of the
issue was about.
And especially, like, what you got to understand at this point is what I'm saying before you continue with the story. For people who are out there like, well, what is he supposed to do? To de-escalate the situation, even if you still wanted to get him out the club, you could have been like, all right, I hear you, but let's step outside and let me figure out what's going on.
Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about it.
You can still kick him out the club.
Right. It's like,
but he's already outside, and it's asking him to come outside nicely or some nice shit. Like, all right, cool, I hear you, but let's just step outside so I can hear what's going on.
Keep in mind, it's not even just me and my boy too. It's like a few other people that we're here with. Yeah. It's not just me, this person, or I'm not here by my. If I was there by myself, I was like, shit, all right, fuck it, whatever. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm just going to the next spot. Yeah. But this is me, like, this is them kicking me out the spot without telling me what's going on, giving me the opportunity to to tell everybody else that I'm there with about what's happening. This just like, just leave, go right now for some reason that you're not even aware of, And so as they're pulling me out the spot, now we have a problem. Like, not only do you have a problem with me or who you think is me, but now I have a problem with you too. Yeah. And so, long story short, it turns into them calling about every bouncer that's in the club to try to get me out of there. As I'm arguing with this guy, and rather than him like taking methods to try to explain to me what's happening, and us like coming to some kind of understanding, and us like doing this kind of expulsion from the club amicably. He's just grabbing me by the arm and pulling me out the club. And I was about to go like full Chun-Li on this dude.
Hello. Roundhouse.
You know what I'm saying? I was going to hit him with that 100 fucking kick dash or whatever the fuck you call that shit. You know, and this at this point, like bouncers like running down the stairs because we have a problem. And to go back to like the topic of conversation, that situation could have been easily like taken care of by us having a conversation about, hey, what's going on? And the fact of the matter, which I stand by to this day, is like it was not me that they was talking about, because I was not walking around. It's not even in my character to walk around the club just grabbing chicks' asses or whatever they was trying to accuse me of. And that's why I was so nonchalantly capable of just saying like, yo, thank God you got the wrong guy, you know, like, but good luck on that journey, like finding whatever the fuck y'all looking for, you know. And to me, I feel like the bouncer, he was looking to pick a fight.
Absolutely.
He was looking to like find some shit to get into. Like, you know, he's been working this job for so long and he hasn't gotten into a fight with somebody all this time, and he was just waiting for the opportunity. And so I feel the clubs, they do need to find people who are better at just coming to resolutions when it comes to these type of situations, rather than being the ones that's trying to pick a fight. Because I was having a good time and a fight was like the last thing that was on my mind.
You hold your staff to a higher standard,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and speaking about staff, so I want to get to D Money and K Player on this one. So I mean that's no, I mean it's not a bad thing. I just want to switch gears because I mean that's just one aspect of it, it being bounces or whatever. But how do y'all feel about discrimination? So what I mean by that, so that's the bouncers and how they react to drunk and not drunk, and just how they handle situations in and out of the club with them prejudging motherfuckers. I mean, whether they be drunk or whether they be a certain color or whether they be a certain look. I mean, because you know when niggas drink, you get a certain look in your eyes. But that don't always mean you're going to wild out. Like, you could be drunk and still be able to control yourself, but you always got a certain look in your eye. Like, I know when D-Money's drunk, but that don't mean he going to wild out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just know when he's drunk versus when he's sober. You know what I'm saying? But
D-Money drunk now.
Yeah. He probably is. Look, he came here straight from the suite. That's why he don't want to drink no more.
Nah, man.
But I'm saying, how y'all feel about discrimination at the door? So as far as whether whatever, black, white, you big bone.
There's all kinds of reasons to discriminate at the door.
Exactly.
And,
I don't want your opinion, nigga. I said K Play and D Money.
But I have a strong opinion about this, and I feel some kind of way about it being excluded.
K Player and D Money.
Hey, why not?
Well, there is
say everybody but you. Everybody but you. You know, I want to hear your opinion about this shit, man. So that's a form of discrimination by itself. Yeah. See, this is the type of discrimination that you're trying to describe right now, because you're discriminating against me by saying like everybody but this guy. I want to hear your opinion. And then I want to know, why is that? Why can I have an opinion about this?
God
because
damn.
I do have an opinion.
Because you've been talking for the last 50 minutes, nigga. Shut up.
I'm going to let you finish. But go ahead.
I guess I'll start this thing off. So personally speaking, at least how it affects me, you know, I definitely deal with discrimination at the door. And it's to the point that I almost feel like, I feel like that I'm trying to victimize myself when it comes to me getting hated on at the door. But it really be just me that gets discriminated on when it comes to dealing with these people at the door, almost to the point, not even majority to the point where I don't even like to go out to clubs unless I know people, because I know somebody is going to say something to me about not being able to get in the club or do whatever for some reason or another. So I just try to, and they all know, because this shit happens all the time.
Facts.
It happens all the time, and it's always me for whatever reason. So I don't even go to clubs.
In other words, don't go out with K Player because you gonna get in.
No, you can get it. You gonna get in.
No, y'all, you will get in. K Player will not get in.
Everybody but him there, that dude.
Yeah, exactly. So there are several clubs that I have never even been to in Las Vegas for that reason. But other than that, outside of speaking on me, I mean, I have witnessed firsthand people discriminate on other people. So I don't, and this is probably what Ms.
Okay, so why are you being discriminated against, and why are these other people discriminated against, and how does that make you feel by these other people being discriminated against? Is it the same reason, or is it
I mean, ultimately it boils down to the same reason. So I mean, for the last couple years, I've worn an afro, right? Like I've had
couple years.
Yeah, like 5 or 6 years. Like 5 years now, I've probably had an afro.
All right.
Few, whatever. It's all the same. Semantics. Yeah. So for a while now, I've worn an afro.
Big word podcast.
But
for a long time.
For a long time, comparatively speaking, it ain't been long. Anyway, before I've had my afro, I used to wear braids. Right? So no.
Sorry.
No.
Discrimination right there.
That shit right there getting edited out for sure.
Gang member.
That's disrespect. That would be disrespect.
And it definitely ain't that. But anyway, so before me having an afro, I would always wear braids. And I would imagine the issue with me is that people would just stereotype me on what I look like and assume that I'm about to come up in this club and cause some problems, right? Because so I've been told my natural face is like a mean ass face, right? But I can have my natural face on and be having a good ass fucking time. But to other people, they may look like they think I'm mad as fuck. Yeah, like no. Actually, having a time of my life, if you didn't know.
I'm having a great motherfucking day. Yeah, thanks for asking.
I'm having a great fucking time, if you didn't know. But, yeah, so I think that was an issue at first. And, I mean, I don't know. At this point, I feel like maybe it's all facial now, because even now that I do have an afro, I mean, I kind of run into the same issue, just not as much by far as being discriminated against as soon as I walk into the door.
So you think there's a difference between how people look at you when you have an afro versus when you have braids?
There's definitely a difference.
What is that difference? Like, why is the afro different from braids? I mean, they both represent the same culture.
True, but an afro is more approachable to people who are not of this culture than braids are. Like, you gotta think about
Afro's
socialization. I am your stereotypical Southern California dude, right? Like if you see me, especially when I have braids, if you see me on a regular day, I got some jeans on. Right now, I got some jeans on, some Chucks, and a T-shirt. I just have on an afro. Well, I mean, I'm wearing an afro, right? If I didn't have an afro, I would be wearing some French braids. Like when you think about, especially when you think about like some West Coast hip hop, right? Some West Coast gangster rap.
Yeah.
You think of somebody like Snoop, right? Like some gangster shit.
Everybody loves Snoop.
Now.
Yeah, but he's Snoop. Yeah. But I mean, that's why they like him, because he's Snoop. Yeah. You can't look like Snoop, or else you're a problem. You're a gang member. But if you're Snoop, it's cool. But I think that was the issue that I ran into before. People would stereotype me based on my appearance, because I mean, I did dress like a stereotypical West Coast dude. And I mean, I'm from California. I grew up in gang culture, so I was influenced by that. But
so you was influenced by gang culture?
Of course, I'm from California. Yeah.
And you're from Southern California?
Really? Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm thinking from there.
Yeah, I'm making a good case for yourself right now.
I'm not. No, yes, I'm actually making a case.
He is, because if you look a certain way, don't mean you are a certain way. That's what I know. That's what it's like. No, but I'm saying, but it's like but what he's saying is gang culture is all around. Like he can't help that. That's his environment. You know what I'm saying? That's like being fucking African and saying, oh, I wear a dashiki, and because I'm from Africa, like y'all think that whatever the stereotypical African shit is, like, you know what I'm saying? Like just because he's influenced by gang culture doesn't make him a gang member. That's two different things completely.
Just influenced by their culture.
Listen, in Southern California, gang culture is just culture.
It's dominant.
It ain't gang culture in Southern California. It's gang culture to everyone outside of Southern California.
What gang culture is basically saying like it's basically like a way of life, how you dress or whatever. But when you're a gang culture, like your color affiliate, you wear a certain color, whatever. But at the same time, something that's neutral is you still gonna wear jeans, you still gonna wear Chucks, you still gonna wear a T-shirt, but you're not gonna wear those colors. You know what I'm saying? So
Definitely.
But that's what I'm saying. To everyone else is gang culture. Chucks, jeans, and a T-shirt is gang culture, which is just in most hoods in LA. That's just the culture. Everybody's wearing that.
It's just casual.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Like,
so when you get down to gangs, that's when you start getting down to colors. So you red, you blue. So that's what he's saying. Like what he means by gang culture is like that's just what all gang members are wearing. But when it comes down to actual gangs, that's when it comes down to the color shit. But you can't get away from I'm gonna wear Chucks and I'm gonna wear jeans and I'm gonna wear a T-shirt because that's what I grew up in elementary school, middle school, high school. That's what everyone is wearing. Like, why would I wear anything different? That don't make no sense.
Most definitely.
No, I completely get it. I just want you to clarify for people.
Yeah, I mean, so
clarify.
Right. I mean, so what I'm saying, I'm not saying it's far fetched as to why they discriminate. I'm just saying the shit happens based on these stereotypes because I look like a stereotypical gang member, even though obviously, as y'all know, I'm far from that. So I would run into these issues because I'm the dude. I mean, obviously, I wasn't going to the club trying to wear a white tee. I might even have a button up on. But I don't know, for whatever reason, the way I carry myself, I don't like, they just assume that I'm a certain way that I'm not. So I ran into these issues consistently. But not to say these are not the only issues that, or these are not the only discriminating factors that go on clubs. Obviously, we could talk about the whole letting women in who are less than desirable, you know what I'm saying? Because
I mean, it depends though, because we can narrow it down to just the clubs in Vegas, or we can talk about clubs in general in Southern California. You know, I mean, because it's all different the way that they view people and who they allowed in their establishments. Because I've been in clubs in Vegas to where they have all kinds of ridiculous rules that just seems so targeted towards a certain demographic, such as you can't wear Timbs in a club. You can't wear Timbs. Right. Who else is wearing Timbs? You can't wear chains in a club. You know, like it's like saying, like, look, we can let everybody in the club, but we can't let nobody in with sombreros. What the fuck? Like, who else is wearing sombreros, right?
I mean, so you bring up a great point. So that was the point I was trying to get to. Like, obviously, we know the clubs discriminate or whatever. And, I mean, number one, how's your feelings on that? Like, as far as, I mean, this is not by any aspect anything new. And I go, even, I'm a DJ, obviously, but obviously, you know, as I mentioned in past episodes, like, you know, I'm doing my own events now, all of that stuff. Like, obviously, you have a target demographic. You want to reach these people or whatever. But how do you feel about the discrimination as far as when other people show up to your event and them trying to keep them out? Do you feel like that's right? Do you like that? Do you feel like it should be, you know what I'm saying? Because
shit is fucking wrong. Like,
there you go. That's what I'm trying to ask. Like, yeah.
Like, there's no aspect of that that's gonna make it right. You know, when you try to isolate like certain demographics for walking into your establishment, there's nothing right about that, especially when you operate in a public venue and you're running advertisements, you know, on a, let's say like the Las Vegas Strip, on taxi cabs or whatever, and saying like, we want you to come here. Oh, my bad, except for you, right there. You can't come in. Yeah. Everybody else is good.
Right. See, and the issue I have with that is, don't tell me I can't come into your establishment when the attire I'm wearing reflects my culture, when you using my culture to promote your establishment. Meaning,
preach.
Meaning,
I hear you.
Don't. If I can't come in here wearing Timbs or chains, don't play fucking hip hop. Like and see how long that shit lasts. Man. Don't tell me I can't come in here because I'm dressed too hip hop. Obviously they gonna call it something different, but you playing hip hop in this bitch,
right?
And then we gonna see how long you last,
right?
So I just got to the point of just, you know, like personally, I just don't support them venues, but it's a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, I don't, like, the culture I most identify with is hip-hop above anything else. Because hip-hop, I mean, obviously it's a broad term. But I identify with this shit. So don't tell me I can't come in here. Like I'm representing hip hop in this bitch, and you playing hip hop.
Yeah.
So I should be in here more than some of these other people that you letting in.
And then, like I said, from someone who does like actual party promotions or whatever, like I feel like it needs to be a clear objective going into it, because I mean, you know what, I'm not even gonna give the demographic or what I don't want or whatever, but obviously we know what everyone feels like is undesirable, which is different for everybody. So I'm not even gonna say for me a specific this and this, you know what I'm saying? Because you have certain type of parties who only promote to that demographic, you know what I'm saying? So obviously we know whatever, but my whole thing is, if you're gonna promote and you don't want a certain type to show up, then promote to what you're promoting to. But if those other types show up, you can't deny them access and hold them up or whatever. That's just wrong. And then if you don't want them to look a certain way or wear a certain thing, then that needs to be said ahead of time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, like I know how hip hop is looked at, and as far as what it brings out, which it's no worse than any other genre. But if I want to go into keeping out trouble, then I'm going to let people know, like, if it's no Tim's, I'm going to promote that ahead of time. Like, I'm not going to not say that and then wait for a nigga to show up with Tim's on and then say, you can't get on with Tim's on. I'm going to say that ahead of time. Like, bro, I'm going to put that when I'm promoting out there, man, no Tim's, no white tees, no this, no that. So, you know, when you come up, don't have to discriminate because I already told you this ahead of time.
Yeah, you're going to set the precedent. Like,
exactly.
All right, fam, this is what it is. We're going to be doing this, but make sure you dress a certain way.
At the same time, you still got to question it, though, because, you know, if this is a part of a person's culture, you can't say, like, well, we're not going to allow anybody who is representing this type of culture to come into our establishment, you know, because that's still a form of discrimination.
Definitely. Know? I mean, I can remember.
Every culture has certain aspects about their culture that stands out, that you can say, like, okay, like these type of people do this. And I mean, when I say these type of people, I'm not saying like, okay, I'm not saying like the type of people who got fucking rags hanging out their back pocket.
Right.
You know, I'm just saying, like, if you have, I don't know, fucking, you know, like a Chinese guy who likes to, you know, not to be stereotypical, you know, he likes to fucking, you know, wear, you know, tight pants and spiky hair. You know, it's like we don't allow spiky hair in this club.
Right.
No, to me,
what the fuck?
To me, I'm not
like
gonna say I'm not gonna say that's fine, because that's like literally your hair. Like, I could wear my hair however the fuck I want to, and you can't tell me. But I'm saying, to me, like Tim's is what? Technically the boots, right?
Okay.
Correct? Okay, so I'm saying, if I say no boots, then I mean no boots. So what I mean,
they don't say no boots. They say no Timbs.
No. But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying, keeping it.
Your caterpillars and white laces.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying, though. To me, but I'm glad you said that. That's my exact point. You can't say shit about hair. That's your fit. Like, bro, I'm not gonna tell you how to wear your hair. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like what you're wearing, like if I say no boots, which I want to include Tim's, if a nigga show up with cowboy boots on, like, bro, you got on boots. To keep it 100 all the way across the board, like, that means no boots. Like, you can't get in here. You know what I'm saying? Because I've dealt with that issue when we talk about discrimination with no sneakers or whatever, but we know how they like to play that game. It depends on what type of sneakers you're wearing, but the fucked up part is it depends on who's wearing the sneakers. And I've ran into that issue.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. If you're going to say no sneakers, I'll respect it more if you tell everybody, white, black, Asian, I don't give a fuck what color you are, you got on sneakers, you can't get in, versus, because I've ran into that issue, like, nigga, I'm at the club buying bottles, and you tell me, oh, well, even though I'm buying 3 bottles, you can't get in with those shoes, and an Asian nigga walk by me with the same fucking shoes on, I'm like, but my nigga got on the same shoes, and then you let me in, we have a motherfucking problem, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
because I wore these type, and it's not even, I'm not even saying nigga, I'm talking about, if you know me, I love Jordans, I'm talking about, I'm wearing 11 patent leather motherfucking Concords. So this is the most dressiest sneaker you can get to. Mm-hmm. And I wore those to the club for that reason. Like, this is the most
I won't
dress.
say that, but
I'm talking about
the most dressiest Jordans.
The most dressiest Jordans. There you go. Because you can go to motherfucking Creative Rex, which I've also wore to the club and got talked about like those are still sneakers technically. So I'm saying, getting back to this thing, sneakers is sneakers, but it depends on.
I won't take it to Creative Rex either, but.
But back in the day, like 5 years ago, Creative Rex was the sneaker. You get into the club, we talking about Ed Hardy shoes. Those are sneakers technically. But if it's a nigga wearing,
well, you said the most dressiest sneakers. Which,
but I'm saying,
all right, anyway,
Jordan,
that's
Jordan
besides the point. Go ahead,
besides the point, I'm saying to some people it depends on who's wearing the fucking sneakers. What I'm getting at,
absolutely.
And like, you know, what I'm saying, to me as a club promoter, if I say know this, I mean know this across the board. I don't give a fuck who's wearing it. I don't give a fuck what type of sneaker it is. Okay. That's a sneaker.
Well, I mean, we know that the issue is not the fact that it's necessarily the shoes or. You know, the fact is the people, the person, like, you know, they try to use an excuse for we're not going to let this certain person in the club, regardless of, primarily based on their race or how we view this person, you know, who we think this person is based on, you know, certain stereotypes or whatever else that might exist. You know, so if I showed up, I mean, okay, let's say you're a black man, I'm a black man. We could both show up to the club. He might not let you in because you got on the Timbs or you got on like the Jordans or some shit and you got like a long chain on. But if I show up with like a button up and some Steve Mattins on, I'm good. But you're not. Your whole outfit costs more than mine, right? You know, but what the fuck is the difference? The difference is that mine kind of fits more so into like a social norm than yours do.
Right.
You know, I mean, and yours is more like catered towards a demographic that enjoys to wear those type of items, right? You know,
see, but my only issue was that is if an Asian or a white dude shows up with the same shit on.
But he's not black, okay? Let's not fucking saying, bullshit.
9 times out of 10, I could be wearing that shit, and if an Asian or a white dude walks up with the same shit on, they're walking in no problem.
They're walking in no problem because they got the Asian and white card, you know. So which is, you know, there's a privilege behind all of that, right? You know, and then so if you don't fit that social construct that they set the bar on in which they establish, then you just can't get in because you do not fit that mold. We know this exists already, right? We already know that this exists, but that's not what the question is.
Okay, so
the question is how do we feel about it?
Yeah, how do you feel about it? But also to fit that mode. Okay, so what happens when you're a certain body type and nothing you do can matter?
What you mean?
Bruh, I just literally just said I said it. I
said it the most. Type? What's a body type?
Oh my gosh.
That means your ass don't get into the club. That's what that means. Because I have definitely been to the club, walking into the club right behind a pack of females that were overweight. And I personally heard the bouncer tell these overweight women,
we can't be letting no fat or pregnant bitches up in this club.
No, not even that straightforward. That
it's a movie quote.
Yeah. Right. No, but I mean, damn, it was pretty much that. We witnessed, I mean, it wasn't just me, but we witnessed the bouncer tell these ladies that the club was at capacity. Meanwhile, we are walking right into the club as he's telling this woman they can't get in.
That kind of sucks because when it gets to that point, I feel it's not necessarily like the bouncer's call.
No, and you know what? I would agree with that. And I would agree with that even on a bigger level. Like, I don't know how much of the responsibility we can place on the bouncer as opposed to what the club owners want for the demographic and the look, especially in Vegas. Obviously, club culture is very competitive and cutthroat in Vegas. So they want the best of the best girls and they want the guys who going to spend money, right? So they're going to do whatever they can to weed them out.
Can I hold it right there? Because it's funny because we talk about body types. And, you know, because I don't want to attack my big girls. I love my big girls. Y'all come to my events and y'all have fun. Y'all turn up. I'm not shading y'all at all. But, no, I'm talking about even body types because you just said they want the girls to look their best and they want the dudes to spend the most money. So I'm talking about body types. When you have that weird, awkward dude, he don't really know how to dress. He may look awkward. He don't know how to do his hair. This nigga standing in line for 3 hours, bruh, and he going to go in there and spend like $1,000 easily. At the bar, he buying drinks for every girl at the bar. Because he's socially awkward. He don't know whatever. Like, man, I'm just trying to go in here. I'm trying to have fun. I got the money, but he's socially awkward. So they'll keep him in line for 3 hours. Like, bro, like, hold on. Wait. You in VIP, you go ahead. Or you come here. You girls look good. Come here. This dude is standing in line for 3 hours. And he ended up spending the most money out of any regular nigga that walked in the club without buying bottles. That's what I'm saying. Like that type of discriminatory practices. You know what I'm saying? Like because they want a certain look of the club.
Yeah.
I think it's because the bouncer ain't even thinking that far ahead. Like the bouncer is the gatekeeper of beauty. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, we in Vegas, money gonna get spent for sure. So if you got this weird, awkward dude who is about to spend $1,000 at the bar, his money ain't as good enough, or his money ain't as good as the model-looking dude who will spend $200. Because at the end of the day, money gonna get spent somewhere from somebody. So the bouncer is like, nah, I ain't gonna be responsible for letting this dude in the club because somebody gonna walk around and see him in the club looking all awkward doing whatever he doing. And like, who left this fucking weirdo in the club? And somebody gonna have to answer to it. And I think that's part of the issue with what you were saying is if it's all on the bouncer as far as letting these people in. Like obviously the higher ups got a standard of beauty that they want to adhere to because it's so cutthroat out here. Like they don't care about if that dude is gonna spend $1,000. His money ain't good here. Look how he look. Like you gonna have somebody taking pictures and see that he gonna be on fucking a Vegas magazine with a weird dude. And he at our club. We can't have that.
Yeah, I'm gonna get D Money involved in this conversation too because I mean you know D Money. I know you know me and you know we know a lot of females.
Yeah.
And you know how the promoter game works out here, bro.
Super.
So like literally it's as bad out here to where it's literally like, all right, cool, you want to get a table? I can get you in free. It's what you and 6 of your homegirls, but what he gonna ask?
What they look like, son. Send me that picture.
Absolutely.
Send me that picture. I mean, that's just the name of the game out here. But at the same time, it's definitely a line you got to find, or I should say a balance to find between, trying to go for a quote-unquote look and providing good customer service. And I'm going to say the word again, customer service, because people are patronizing your business, and it is your job, you know what I'm saying? Well, if you want their business, you should be doing the best you can to provide them with the best experience as possible. And, you know what I'm saying, just having people trying to go for a certain look, like sometimes the girls that look that way, they can kind of drag down on the party, you know what I'm saying? It's all discretion, but at the same time, I don't really think it's cool for somebody that wants to patronize your business for you to kind of just treat them any kind of way.
I mean, yeah, shit, I agree with that 100%. But, you know, I mean, we know how it is. Vegas is pretty superficial. We all know that.
And that's what it comes down to. Vegas is all about image. You know,
Definitely.
If you don't have that image, they're more concerned about the image than their bottom line. You know, if you could make me more money, but make it like, damn, I'm trying to be like politically correct.
Yeah, I know. I mean, definitely that. But you know what's funny though? Because Vegas is still on that. But you know, us being from, you know, real quick, you know, shameless plug, Rockstar DJs East, we in this thing. You know what I'm saying? You know how we do. But you know, no. But it's funny because the West Coast is actually winning right now because the New York market. No, listen to me. The New York market right now, the club,
winning right now.
Oh my gosh.
It's not even about that, man. Let me finish
the
man.
goddamn point.
Please finish.
Shit. The New York market right now, if you go
mic.
to New York, everybody tells you, like, the club scene in New York is trash right now.
Yeah?
It's whack as fuck.
Damn.
Because nobody go, because it's all about who you know. You can only get into the club about off of who you know. Unless you're going to be standing in line around a block for hours until you leave, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like a super socialite, like it's damn near like a cult, you know what I'm saying? So like the New York scene has fallen off to where like, nigga, we not having fun. Like we got to go in here. Like I said, it's all bottle service. And you got to know the bouncer or the club owner to get in at a, you know what I'm saying, at an effective rate, you know what I'm saying, to where you're not standing outside freezing, because you know how New York is. You're not standing outside freezing your ass off. It's not inside like a casino. But, I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, places are starting to get to that point to where, man, y'all discriminating so much and y'all doing so much extra to make money and to adhere to a certain type of people that y'all are excluding, like, the masses, and y'all are taking the fun out of this shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's where, I'm not saying Vegas is to that point, because obviously it's not, and we got too many people to come here. It's a tourist city. You know what I'm saying? So is New York, but we still not to that level yet. But we'll move that way eventually. Like, if you take the fun out of shit, like, eventually, like, it's all cool But once you start taking the fun out of shit, like eventually it's like a fucking desert. Like, nigga, there was a big ass river or a big ass ocean here, but eventually that shit dried up. Eventually over time, I mean, it took 20, 30 years, but eventually that shit dried the fuck up. Yeah, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? Eventually, my point is, eventually, the shit dried up. It's a goddamn dry ass lake bed. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't feel like, you know, I mean, when you're making billions of dollars, who can you tell what? That's really what the overall feeling of everything is, right? When you're making money, nigga, you can't tell me shit. D-Money, you sleep?
Actually, yes, I am.
That nigga fell asleep for a second. Like,
Give me the mic, man. Yes. And to what you're saying, the part of the issue is, and I could be biased. I could be biased because I'm in Las Vegas, but I feel like Las Vegas is at the forefront of club culture, right?
Absolutely. Like, it's like Vegas,
like a lot
Dubai,
a lot of decisions,
worldly shit,
right?
Miami.
A lot of decisions in club culture are tried and tested here first, and then other cities will follow suit only because of the amount of people that come here for nightlife and how important nightlife is here. So they getting away with a lot of stuff here because they can, and because, I mean, shit, at the end of the day, it's really only 3 or 4 companies that own all these clubs out here.
Absolutely.
Right? So they got a lock on the competition, and obviously, like we were saying, it's all about image. And at the end of the day, I mean, from a business perspective, this is where I understand. At the end of the day, you want people to go back wherever they came from, talking about how dope your club was and how everybody was so beautiful and how, you know, everything was this and that. So they're trying to control that environment.
But you know
as
what's
much
funny?
as possible.
I feel like that's why clubs kind of like build their clubs in other places. So like One Oak is in New York, here, California. Dre's is in here. Did they open up the Dubai one yet? They open up a Dubai
I don't
one,
know.
whatever. But I'm
Definitely
saying
LA.
But yeah, definitely LA. But I'm saying it's funny because I don't want to give like a race to the clubs, but y'all know what it is in Vegas. But it's funny because if normally, you know what obviously the culture in Dubai is. But if they come out here to Vegas, if they don't know anybody, they don't know a club promoter, whatever, they come out here, they usually get discriminated against. And that's how places like Hakkasan and shit get built.
Yeah, shout out to XS. Shout out to XS for Hakkasan.
Yeah, exactly.
Cornered the market, but yes.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's how I feel. That's why I feel like these clubs are starting to build their clubs in major markets so they can kind of know who's coming from where and lock up that so it's like, all right, cool. Because like I said, we're back to the judgmental and the discriminatory factor of it. But if I have a club in that market, then most likely he knows a promoter out here. Cool. He can promote out here. Like, bro, I got my client coming out here. Y'all need to take care of him. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Normally they run into those issues where they discriminate against a motherfucker who's Indian or black or whatever who has hella fucking money.
Yeah.
And then they come out here like, oh, you want to give me a table in the fucking corner, or you won't let me in? Because I look a certain way, but I got all this fucking money, and you're going to tell me something that...
Gonna just go buy the club across the way and put you out of business.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's like, it's funny because it's like, it's kind of
like...
it's
super petty, by the way.
It is. It's not even petty, though. No. It's just, it's real. That's what I do. Exactly. It's just real. Like,
it's just so fucking petty.
It's not even petty, though. It's real, though. Like, why would
it's real. I wish I had that kind of power.
I do. You know who did that also? Steve Wynn.
Yeah.
Like whenever he opened his first joint, he contracted a tile company to do some tile, and they denied him because they already had enough jobs to do whatever. Like, you know, they were booked up. Like, we can't do it in that time. We already scheduled. Bought the whole company.
Yeah, y'all gonna do it now.
Bought the whole company. Like, if that ain't a boss move, I don't know what is.
But yes, I mean, I say that to say, like, I mean, there's obviously checks and balances in place, but I feel like they just keep finding ways around the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, cool. Like, well, if we keep running into this issue, let's just open a club out there so we at least know who the big ballers are when they come out here.
Right.
To get around having this issue, which is like, all right, you're not really solving the issue at hand, which is kind of, and it's not even the fact that I'm not even going to say well, you shouldn't discriminate, but I feel like clubs can be, and this goes down to the bouncers, the door people. I don't give a fuck if you're a bartender, a waitress, a goddamn janitor sweeping up goddamn trash that you drop your cup on the floor, your napkins on the floor. Like, I feel like if motherfuckers were a lot more personable and were willing to have conversations. This nigga's falling asleep like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
They're willing to have conversations and actually get to know people. I get it. A club is a busy place. It's hustle and bustle, but it don't take but 30 seconds to a minute to have genuine conversations with people sometimes.
Right.
Especially if they're from another country. They're going to let you know what they want. But if you're judging them off top, you don't give a fuck about what they're saying. Because I know, I'm not ashamed to say that I do Uber and shit like that, and I get niggas from different countries, but they going to let you know damn near off the rip what they about. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm talking about all types of wild requests, whether they here for, you know what I'm saying, for shit that's illegal in Vegas. They going to let you know off the top, like, bro, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm trying to do. Yeah. This is this, and that. So, I mean, I feel like those clubs have them, like, people don't go to the club and be confused about what's going on. Like, if they got money, they're not ashamed to say, like, man, I got money. I'm trying to get a table. I'm trying to spend this much. But if you write them off to begin with, you're going to give them attitude. You're not going to hear what they're saying, and you're going to write them off, and they're going to be pissed off.
Right.
Immediately.
Right. I mean, the issue is at the end of the day, clubs have the upper hand right now.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, everybody wants to go to the clubs, regardless of what casino we're seeing. Fucking nightlife is just as popular as fine dining and gambling in Las Vegas at the moment. And these places know that, so they got the upper hand, so they can kind of do whatever they want to do for that reason, and they going to get away with it until there's a paradigm shift.
Or until somebody speak up and they make their voice loud enough.
True.
Because we that's a whole other topic, but we got into this shit with, kind of before the Me Too movement, motherfuckers was out here exploited women in different ways to get in the club and abuse their power.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of niggas who switched hands, and promoters and club owners who had to get up out of there because
it's a whole nother topic.
Exactly, a whole nother topic. But I feel like that's the same way with, like, that's the same type of game with discrimination. Like, y'all niggas is moving a certain way that y'all know is not right, but y'all feel like y'all have a certain level of power, and you know what I'm saying? Like, and like I said, coming from a person who does the same type of shit on a smaller scale, I get it. It's easy to do that. Like, I could literally see a certain type of whatever walking up, like, I don't want this here. I'm gonna be fucking rude and tell them something different. But why? They're already here at this point.
Right.
Why not accommodate them? Why not make them have fun? If it's something that I can change, it's easy to let them know. Like, well, I hope you have a good time, but next time, you know what I'm saying, we don't allow this, and this, or even say it in a nice way up front. Like,
right. I mean, at the end of the day, we're in the hospitality industry.
Exactly. So niggas could be a lot more hospitable, basically, is what I'm trying to get at. Like,
yeah.
And they refuse to do that. You know what I'm saying? But we going to get up out of here, man. For the record, for D-Money, put his head down on the table. Like we back in elementary school.
Right.
About to get D-Money a cot in a second.
Money falling asleep in class over there, man.
Busy the Rockstar DJ.
Rockstar DJ, you holler.
Rockstar DJ K Player.
Rockstar DJ D Money.
Ooh, he said it normal. I know his ass tired.
Yeah. Right. Right. It wasn't no the on that thing.
Right, exactly.
As usual, thank you for tuning in. We started off hella faded, got sober.
So because it was reckless as shit at the beginning.
Yeah, we started off rocking. So if you made it through this thing, we appreciate you as usual every week. We are on iTunes. We are on Google Play Music. Make sure you subscribe, whatever platform you use. If you want to watch the video version, make sure you check us out on YouTube. Subscribe to that thing. On YouTube is where you can leave your comments. If you want us to touch on any subjects that we haven't talked about, if you're an artist, if you're a DJ, if you want a different perspective, whatever, leave us a comment on YouTube so we can get it, respond to it, and bring it up in the podcast. But yeah, man, we appreciate y'all. Good looking. We in this thing next week. It's For the Record.
For the record.
For the record.